Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 462 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Eilon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and an author. Our fifth book just came out. It's called Perseverance and How to Be a Great Fraternity or Sorority Alumnus. So I want you to go and pick up that book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble today. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring fraternity and sorority members together. Fun fact, Kappa Delta has a really great annual speaker series. It's called Confident Conversations, and they often talk about women empowerment and planning through adversity. It actually all started during the pandemic when communication was so difficult online for so many large organizations like fraternities and sororities. And this item, Confident Conversations, has continued with tremendous success over the last couple of years. So be on the lookout for a Greek University speaker to make an appearance there sometime in the very near future to all those members of Kappa Delta. Speaking of Kappa Delta, today we have with us Krysten Rhodes. She is one of my favorite content creators and brand ambassadors on social media. She, of course, is a member of Kappa Delta from Texas A&M, and now that she has graduated, Krysten currently serves as a research data coordinator at MD Anderson in thoracic, head and neck medical oncology in Houston, Texas, one of my new favorite cities. With everything that Krysten does, she leaves her mark and goes above what is expected with the goal of leaving things better than she found it. Krysten inspires others with her incredible drive and tremendous passion for fraternity and sorority life. Welcome to the show, Krysten.
Thank you so much for having me. It is truly an honor. I have been following Greek University since I was in college, so absolutely full circle moment to be here. And I'm so excited to talk about everything college, social media, and of course, sorority life.
Of course. Well, we are super stoked to have you on the show. I know you're a longtime fan of the Greek University brand, so we certainly want to reward you for that. And, it looks like in the background, you're in some really exotic spots. So wherever your background is, I want to go there.
I'm so excited for summer. I'm actually just in my office, but I really do wish I was here right now.
Totally. I am totally 100% with you. I think we're all ready for summer. We all want to hit the beach. Now,
Absolutely.
I want to talk about your undergrad days because I think this is really interesting. You chose Texas A&M for your undergraduate experience. Certainly a great school. There's a lot of really good schools out there that have great Greek life as well. So I'm wondering, what made you want to be an Aggie?
So both of my parents attended Texas A&M. They were both in Greek life and met through Greek life and then had me. And I guess you could say I drank the Kool-Aid. A lot of people like to joke that A&M is a cult, which, funny enough, people say that about sorority and fraternity life. So I guess that's on brand for me. But I think again, whenever you get to the root of that, it's tradition, it's culture, it's history. And A&M has so much of it to the point where there's a lot of students that don't even know every single tradition. And the people who don't really participate in that, we have a name for them. We call them 2%ers because they only do 2% of the stuff an Aggie does. And then if you are red ass, that's the opposite. That means you're absolutely involved. You drink the Kool-Aid, you bleed maroon. So I would definitely say that I am red ass, and so are my parents. So I went A&M because the culture is just fantastic, and the Aggie Network is something that you'll always hear Aggies talk about. People are so dedicated to helping other Aggies that it's just hard to find in other institutions, and it's just a special place. So I'm really glad that I was able to spend my 4 years there.
That is great. You are a wonderful advocate for Texas A&M, and
Thank you.
you are right. You are red ass. I mean, if anybody is, it's you. I mean, you live and breathe Texas A&M. So,
Absolutely.
well, I love that school pride. I think that's great. And of course, you joined Kappa Delta, like I mentioned in the intro. So I'm wondering, I mean, you could have joined any sorority on campus. What was special about these sisters that made you want to join?
Something that I really wanted when I came into recruitment, I came in with an open mind, but I knew that what I wasn't going to compromise on was joining a sisterhood that was genuine and authentic, but also diverse. I wanted people who weren't 100% like me. I already know myself. I don't need 100 other people like me. But I wanted other people who I could learn from, experience more of the world from. A&M is a huge institution. There's 60 to 70,000 undergraduate students. So being able to make campus a little bit smaller, but still help me broaden my horizons was something that was important to me. But I also really wanted to be sure that the people I was meeting were genuine and true friends. And the women that I spoke to during recruitment absolutely embodied that and went beyond that, proving that they were women who strove to be their very best selves. And not only that, went above and beyond to encourage other people into the sorority and out to also be their best selves by serving in leadership roles in over 200 different organizations that we have. We had a KD in at least one KD in over 200 organizations at A&M, which is just an incredible feat and something that I'm super proud of and just really wanted to be a part of that.
See, I love this answer because I mean the involvement, I think that's what makes KD great at Texas A&M. It's that involvement. It's that you did have a sister in 200 organizations on campus, and that's the key to success. If you join other organizations outside of Greek life, then you're going to know exactly who the leaders are in all those other organizations, and then it becomes real easy to be like, okay, I see that Krysten's doing a ton of work in this other organization. Maybe we should recruit her to come to KD because guess what? She's not going to sit in the back of the chapter meeting and not participate. She's going to want the president's job because that's what she's doing in other organizations on campus.
Exactly. And it makes getting a leadership position actually really competitive. Not
Mhm.
only do we have about 300 members in Kappa Delta, and we have 12 to 13 chapters at Texas A&M in our Panhellenic. So to be able to have about 300 members, space is a little limited for leadership positions, but it's really incredible to be able to say that if you got that leadership position, you were an incredibly competitive applicant, and it makes our chapter just so much stronger.
Yeah, 100%. I totally see that. Now, since both of your parents were Greek and they both went to Texas A&M, I'm wondering like how much were they guiding you in terms of like which organization to join? Were they like really pushing you towards KD?
So my mom was one of the founding members of Kappa Delta at Texas A&M. So she was recruited by nationals, which I think about it and that would be so scary for me as an 18-year-old. But she always told me to go in with an open mind and that it's, and I quote, way too much time and money to just go just because you know that I'm a KD. And I really took that advice to heart, but I always grew up with my mom being also a very active sorority alum. I remember having so many alumni chapter meetings for the alumni chapter that I'm a part of now. They always had so many meetings at my house, and just getting to grow up with these incredible role models and representatives of KD. And my mom always brought me to the KD house when I was a kid. By the time that I finally was there and they opened the doors of the first party, it just felt like I was walking home. Like it's a feeling that I don't think I've ever felt in my life, even to this day. It's just indescribable how I just knew deep down that's where I was meant to be, and just the conversations fulfilled that even more. And to be able to call my mom on bid day and say, Mom, I went KD, just absolute tears, and getting to run home right to my mom was just, ugh, chills, so incredible. So I would say there was an influence, but there also wasn't the influence that people would assume when they hear that I'm a legacy.
Right. That just gives me the chills, just like listening to the story. That gives me the chills. And I think your mom handled it the right way. I think it's to basically say, listen, we just want you to be happy. Wherever you find your home is great. I'm sure she loves it. You're a KD. I mean, let's just be honest.
Absolutely.
I mean, she absolutely loves that. But like, if you found your home at another sorority, I think she would be totally cool with that as well. So that's really, really cool. And also, I'll tell you what, I know your mom is a rock star, and you're going to say, well, how do you know that? And I'm going to say, because the national headquarters chose her. There's no way that they would have chosen her as a founding member if she wasn't a rock star. And I know that she had an incredible experience and a lot of the success. I don't even know her, by the way, but like I know her success all came from being a founding sister of KD, because you are literally like creating everything from the bylaws and the Constitution and all those things for the chapter and building it up from nothing, from the ground, right? And so when you do that, you have such a great experience as a founding sister that nothing can replicate that. And I'm sure that she's been really successful, and she attributes that to KD. Am I right?
Yes, she really does say that joining KD just changed her life. She
Mhm.
didn't have anybody Greek in her family, and AM was 8 hours away from where she grew up. So being in a completely different city, people she doesn't know, a much bigger city than she's been used to, and being able to all of a sudden have, I think they had over 100 members on that first bid day, and just being able to have all of these people from so many different places to get to meet and who were also selected by nationals. So incredibly confident, smart, capable, kind women. She's very close with most of them to this day. And we recently celebrated our 25-year anniversary, which me and my mom were on the planning committee for. And just seeing how so many people were just drawn to her because they remembered her. Like she still has a very special place in that pledge class, which is it was incredible to see that kind of bond.
Yeah, that's just an incredible story, and totally fits with everything that I've seen across the country in terms of founding sisters and founding brothers and the success they've had and the affinity they have for the organization. You know, you and I will never be able to be a founding sister or a founding brother, you know, founding father of an organization. But when you have that experience, it's incredible and so over the top. Which is really great. And you know, I want to talk a little bit too about Panhellenic, because you served as Texas A&M, their first ever marketing coordinator for recruitment in Panhellenic. So I want you to help us all make sense of social media. What things should sorority and fraternity members be doing on social media in order to get more students interested in joining their organization? And we need specifics, because some of these social media accounts, they need a lot of help.
I agree. And I think what makes it difficult is that there's a lot of conflicting information out there because the strategies that you need specifically for Greek life is very different than you would look at for, say, a business because we're looking for members and but we're looking for specific people. You can't just market to everybody because you need that specific school. You need that specific location. So that can tend to be a little difficult when trying to get good advice out there on the internet. I would say the best strategy is try and include as much storytelling as you can. Really focus on showcasing your wins, not only on a chapter level, our chapter won this award, or on an individual level. One of our members was able to do this. And I would make sure to focus on highlighting multiple members. Sometimes it's really nice to be able to see that Susie Q went on a European vacation, but you could be ostracizing people from a different socioeconomic class who want to and have the ability to join Greek life, but maybe not afford a European vacation. They might feel like it's exclusionary, that they can't join, when that really isn't the case. I remember having so many people in my chapter that weren't on the social media, but they were the reason that I stayed. They were the reason that I joined. They were the reason for showing up to chapter every single day. But they weren't on social media. And imagine how many other women that we could have been friends with in KD if we had seen them. So I think being able to share multiple stories, multiple points of view, multiple wins, not only by the chapters, but also on a Panhellenic stage. Now you have anywhere from 3 to 8 to 12 to 16 at some schools, chapters and members to be able to pull from to share just how diverse and how incredible and capable all of these members are.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think we need to highlight that diversity, and then ultimately that's going to be attractive to the whole general student body. I'm sure there are tons of amazing women at Texas A&M that would love to be KDs. But we have to just make sure that we're reaching out to everybody. Like you said, the people that aren't on social media, what about them? Should they not have the same leadership opportunities? So I agree with you. We really have to think about, the finances of it. It does cost money to join KD or another sorority at Texas A&M. So what are we doing there? Are there scholarships available and things like that? I think we really have to think about that. How do we make it more accessible to more students at Texas A&M and all over the country? And so
Exactly.
maybe advertising those scholarships could be certainly something, because KD, the national headquarters, they have scholarships. Maybe the chapter can fund some. Maybe we can get some through Panhellenic. I think all of those things are super important. And then figuring out, how do we get diverse members? Maybe at Texas A&M, maybe there's a bunch of former military people that are coming to Texas A&M after they're serving in the military. So they're not the traditional age of, let's say, an 18-year-old joining Kappa Delta. But if she's got experience in the military and she's been a leader in the military, could she come and help out at KD? Absolutely. You're
Absolutely.
welcome anytime. you know? So I think that's
Absolutely.
part of the challenge, is how do we get that diverse student body to join, and that might be different ages than we're accustomed to, different religions, different sexual orientation, that maybe they have some kind of difficulty, like, let's say, physical impairment, or whatever the situation is. We want you. And so
Right.
that's something that's a challenge over and over again. One other thing that I've noticed about you is you're so good at being a brand ambassador
Thank
for
you.
so many popular brands on social media. I've seen you promote Kendra Scott. I've seen you with Samsung, Herf Jones Jewelry, Good Golly Greek, fantastic people over there making incredible products, Greek Town, and so much more. How do you find out about all these brand ambassador opportunities on social media? And do you feel like it's been a really good side hustle for college students to consider?
Absolutely. I found out about most of these through social media, and fun fact, Greek life does have a tie into this. So whenever I first found out kind of about the world about, college ambassador stuff, I had a pledge sister who had an older sister that is a KD at the University of Texas at Austin, horns down. But she had a post and mentioned that she was the Kendra Scott campus ambassador, and I was shocked. I was like, "What is she talking about? What even is this?" So of course I go to Google and I look and I'm like, "Wait a minute. So you're telling me all she has to do is get free Kendra Scott, make a post about it, get more Kendra Scott, make more posts about it, and that's it, that's kind of it." I was like, well, sign me up. I've been wearing Kendra Scott since I was in middle school. Easy peasy, no problem. I can totally do this. So the first two times I applied, I actually didn't get it. And then the third time I did, and that was my junior year. And then I was also a Kendra Scott Gem my senior year. So I credit the foundation of being able to be successful on social media with being able to start with Kendra Scott. Had I not had that experience, I don't know how many open doors would have been closed. People really, really resonated with being able to hear that I worked with a company that has millions of followers on Instagram and is incredibly recognizable, while also having a lot of really incredible values. Philanthropy is one of their most important pillars that they stand on, and they really do stand behind it. And I say this as somebody who's been able to see more behind the scenes than most other people would. And it's really just changed my life. And I don't know how many opportunities I would be missing out on right now if I hadn't just, taken the leap and applied. And in fact, when I was debating applying, I reached out to my Katie house roommate, who we still hang out to this day because she also lives in Houston. And she was like, just go for it. Like, people love your posts anyway, and you wear the jewelry anyway. You might as well do it. Just what's the worst that could happen? And sure enough, I was able to get it that third time around, and yep, just changed my life. I will say, depending on how much you do, it can be a little bit more time, but as a whole, I think it's a really easy, great, and really fun way to make some money in college, but also it's given me friends that some of them I've never met before online, but we are friends. And some of them I have met in real life, which has been really, really cool. But being able to broaden your network, meet more people, and be able to have a creative passion to do, it's just been absolutely incredible. I would recommend it. I'd be the first person to recommend it to so many college students.
Yeah, that sounds super fun. So really, really good stuff. And good on you for the persistence. I mean, yeah, okay. So you didn't make it the first couple of times, but you were persistent and eventually you succeeded. And I think that's just the recipe of life. I mean, it's basically just trying and trying again until you ultimately get what you want and you
Right.
got it. So good for you.
Thank you.
And great for all those opportunities you've had. I want to talk to you because you're a recent grad and I'm wondering what types of things should the seniors who are listening to you right now in college, what should they be thinking about and considering as they get ready to make that leap to be an alumnus or an alumni in their organization?
I would definitely say, first of all, join an alumni chapter wherever you're moving. You're probably going to have one close by you. I know for KD, there is a chapter locator section on our website where you can search both collegiate and alumni chapters. And so you can just type in by state or by city, and you can see literally on a map just how far away you are from one. I think there's about 5 in the Houston area slash around there. And there's even more women that are involved, but they don't have one close by because Houston is just that big of a city. But I'd recommend definitely looking up because it's really just made my post grad experience so much easier, my transition so much easier. It connected me back again to the women that I grew up with, but in a whole new way. And they're like my number one fans. They're always asking what I'm up to, and they're always the first people to say, I saw your post on Instagram. That's so cool. Or one time I had a Kendra Scott necklace that's a shamrock, and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, look how cute this is, just on my Instagram story. And the next meeting, I saw 3 of them wearing it, and they were like, "Yeah, I went right to the link. I went right to the link and I bought it too." So, yeah, it's been so much fun, and it also connected me to other young alum in my city because I thought I'm the only one that's, coming back home, and that wasn't even the case. It's been really cool to be able to interact with other young alum that are in the similar boat, but also have a shared sorority experience. I'd also just something that I wish that I knew is that life gets a lot slower. I did so much in college, and all of a sudden, meetings went from every week to once a month if we plan one once a month. And, all of my friends are at least 40 minutes away from me. That's hard. I used to see them every single day. So life gets slower, but it also gave me a lot more time to, reconnect with my family, reconnect with myself, really learn more about who I am and what I want to do, and be able to take care of my mental health more. And thanks to my job and the fact that I get to work from home, it's just been a perfect fit. And I'm able to do so many things that I didn't get to do in college. And I was really scared that post grad was going to be really boring and really disappointing, but it's been different, but I'm really happy with where I am now 1 year later.
That's awesome. Really, really good stuff. Totally agree. Getting connected with other alumni in your city is great. Luckily, you have a lot of options in Houston. Houston is the fourth largest city in the country. So, yeah, you got 5 alumni groups in the Houston area. Now, if you don't live in an area that's as big as Houston, that's okay. Look to see what's near you, or if not, just start your own. I actually
Exactly.
started the New York City Alumni Club for my fraternity, and it was incredibly successful. So just connect with your headquarters. They'll give you a list of all the alumni that are in your area, let's say within a 20-mile radius or a 30-mile radius, and then you can just start your own. And it just starts with one event. So give that a shot if you're not in Houston. Really good stuff. So, all right. So, I like all of this. I think this is really good. Talk to us a little bit about your professional life because now you're a research data coordinator in Houston. What has this first job and what do you do there and what's life been like outside?
So, with my job, I never knew that this existed while I was in college. And in fact, if I were to have a conversation with myself my junior year of college, or even just a month before graduating college. I would have had no idea about this job or that I would be working here for almost a year now. I was pre-med. I came into college wanting to be a doctor, and I graduated college with cold feet and realized that I just don't think I want to be in school that much longer. I think I'm kind of tired after all that. And I had realized my priorities were a little bit different than they were when I was 18. Go figure. Family is something that has become a lot more important to me. It's always been important, but in the role that my family with, the rest of my life, being a doctor, I wasn't going to be able to always put my family first. And that's something that you just can't really compromise on. And so, as sad as it was to kind of walk away from that, I knew it wasn't really where my heart was meant to be. And I really wanted to be able to pursue more with social media, which I don't post doctor content. I don't post like healthcare stuff. So, I wanted to be able to have something where I felt like I could blend more of my personality together, feel more unified. So, I looked around for jobs and I knew about MD Anderson because I grew up in Houston.
Mhm.
It's the number one cancer treatment center in the country, and people come from all over the world to receive treatment here and to partake in the amount of clinical studies, trials that we have. My department actually has 90% of all of the clinical research trials that go on at MD Anderson, which is incredible to say that I'm being able to have the most experience possible with my time at MD Anderson. And I did research in college. I had a lot of experience in healthcare. So I felt like I was actually the perfect fit for the job that I had no idea about before I saw it. And now that I've been here almost a year, my unit is fantastic. My department is fantastic. The people are so, so caring and care so much, not only about helping each other, but helping our patients. And being able to feel really proud with the work that I'm doing has been really, really awesome. And I love that I'm able to work from home almost every day. So whenever I whenever I, get off the clock, I'm able to, quickly change and film some content. And that really helps because now I don't have a commute. But I just feel more where I'm supposed to be, which I couldn't have even anticipated even at the very beginning of getting my job. So that's been really awesome.
Good for you. It sounds like you have a really good, healthy work-life balance. And I think that's really what it's all about. If it was too
Absolutely.
heavy on the work and you never got a chance to see your family or spend time with them, then you're going to regret that.
Right.
And you probably be stressed out, and that's not good for your mental health, right?
That's exactly how I was in college too. So it's completely different. I'm like, wow, life is so much better. I still loved my life, but I'm like, wow, I think this is what I should have been doing.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you realize that looking back, right? I
Right.
think that's really good. And I mean, I know you love social media too. So, I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, have you thought about like where you're going to be, let's say 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Are there things that you're thinking about in terms of social media that you want to jump into?
Certainly. So I would love to expand more of what I'm doing. I've started kind of incorporating more into my content, being able to show more of me.
Mhm.
Originally, I only was posting on TikTok just to post for Kendra Scott. I didn't really post much of myself, but it's become a platform where I'm more of myself on. So I'm going to be really, really, really sad if it gets banned because I show so much more of my personality on there and more of just my day to day life that not everybody necessarily sees on Instagram or if they don't live near me. So, being able to be more authentic and just showcase what it's like to be an active sorority alumna, especially because I find that I'm able to provide a lot of unique content given that I am somebody that's really passionate about working on social media, but my day job also has nothing to do with social media marketing, anything. And at the same time, I'm a sorority alum, but I still wear my merch.
Good for you.
I still come to events. I go back to my chapter. I was invited back for Big Little reveal by my GG Little. So I met my GGG Littles, which is something that I don't know anyone personally that's been able to do that. So just really, really cool. And to be able to share that with the internet and say, hey, like, you can do this. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Like, the only person that can tell you no is you. If somebody tells you no, you can find a way around it for 99.9% of things.
Mm.
So, I definitely want to keep showing more of me, keep showing more of what you can do post grad, what you can do as a sorority alumna, and hopefully with my day job, I'm really hoping to get more involved in that as well. Something that I've been considering is my path in MD Anderson involves staying more on the data side and doing a lot more like quality regulatory stuff with clinical research data, which I think is really awesome and really it's really important as well. All that information is what becomes published, so it's really important that it is, very clean. But at the same time, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in Houston. My partner is in law school right now, actually, and he's interning in DC right now. And so the plan is that in a couple of years, I'll actually be living in DC and probably also working remote, but from a different company because I have to be in Houston for MD Anderson. But
Mm.
that's the plan.
That's the plan. Well, it sounds good. DC, listen, is a wonderful city, and I know you're really going to enjoy that. So that will be lots and lots of fun. And listen, I love the road that you're on. I think it's very healthy. You're exploring different sides of you. You obviously have the medical and the science side and the research side, and then you have this fun social media personality. So it's kind of cool that you have your foot kind of in both pools and you get to pursue that and see where it all goes. But I know no matter what, you're going to be successful. So I don't worry at all about you. I think you're going to be just fine, which
Thank
is
you.
really, really good. Now, you know that I do love good food. And it just so happens that my daughter got accepted to Rice University. And so she's moving in August. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time at Rice, okay? Because my wife and I, like, we see our daughter every day, and now she's moving to Houston, and so we're going to be empty nesters. And then it's like, well, we got to go see our daughter because we have nothing else to do. So when I get to Houston, where should I go out for a great meal in town? I need to know.
So there is a spot right by Rice,
Uh-huh.
so not too far.
Mhm.
That little area is called Rice Village. My mom actually took her wedding pictures there because
Nice.
Rice Village and the campus of Rice is just
Stunning.
beautiful, I have to
Beautiful.
say. And Rice Village has so many cool stuff. It had a lot more local spots. The rent has kind of increased, so
Yeah.
some of them have left. But there's one called Istanbul Grill and Bar, and the food is just absolutely divine. But not food related, but also there is a spot called British Isles. They have British food, different just anything British that you could think of, but especially food, it's there. And it's just like you walk into the UK randomly in Houston. And I went once in high school and I was just blown away that that even existed because I just had no idea. But if you like British food at all, definitely check that one out as well because I think I always tell people who go to Rice Village to go there.
That sounds really good. I'm going to check out both places for sure. There's some really swanky spots around that area. Like we were checking out like that Jaja Hotel. I mean,
Yep,
that whole area is very, very swanky. And you're right, that campus, I mean, I had no idea. Like you look up pictures of the Rice campus online and you'll see like one building and that's it. And then you go on the campus and you're like, what? This place is beautiful. Are you kidding me?
I know.
It's
If more people saw the campus, more people would want to go there, but
I,
also an incredibly academically talented group of people. So congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My daughter got her smarts from my wife. Let's not beat around the bush here, okay? Because I'm an idiot. Like they would look at my application and they would laugh at me. But you're right. All the kids that go there are just brilliant. So she's gonna have a blast, I'm sure. And so I'll be in Houston a lot. So it'll be a lot of fun to go and check out this new city for me and us. So that'll be a lot of fun. All right. So if our listeners, if they want to connect with you regarding life after college and being an alumni of a sorority, and maybe they want to talk to you about social media for their chapter, or maybe for their Panhellenic Council and they need advice there, or maybe, just maybe, they want to bring you in to come and speak on their campus about life after college. Where should they go to connect with you?
So you can email me at kristen.rhodes23@gmail.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok at Krysten Rhodes. And if you really want me to be a speaker, you should definitely contact Michael at Greek University and let him know that you want me to come speak.
See, I could definitely hook you up with that. Definitely contact me if you want Krysten on your campus, but also connect with her on social media, because I tell you what, it's like a ray of sunshine when you're like connected with her on social media. She's got super fun posts. And even though, she's a brand ambassador and you're like, all right, I know there's a hook somewhere in here that I got to buy some stuff, it's still fun and it just puts you in a good mood. So go and follow her on social media. It's at Krysten Rhodes, and I'll spell it for you: KrystenRhodes. Connect with her on Instagram or on TikTok. And I'm telling you, you'll have a lot of fun. And you can always DM her if you need anything, because I know she answers all of her fan mail. Krysten, what can I say? You are absolutely amazing. I knew that instantly from the first time that we connected on social media. So I'm so happy that we finally got the time
Me
to sit down and
too.
chat for 30 minutes. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this talk with Krysten, I want you to like it and I want you to share it on social media with all of your friends, all of the sorority women that you know, every KD that you know. They have to listen to Krysten and what she has to say, because I just think it's great info, especially post grad. You just kind of don't know like what to do. Where do we go from here? I
Exactly.
just, don't even know what's the roadmap from here. I don't know. So I think Krysten can fill in a lot of those blanks for you. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being with us. And to our audience, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you on another episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much.